Here's what the player had to say when they submitted their review. I mainly play support, but need to be able to fill and tank from time to time. Tried a variety of tanks, settling on Magneto as a focus. I really only tank when support fills in quickly, so my quality of play is falling behind support. I do enjoy tanking and would like to do it more in range when I get better. I have been trying to keep up with tips from all over and feel like I played reasonably well in this match. Was hoping to get some feedback on blind spots or if I misjudged the quality. Before we get started, of course, if you'd like your game reviewed, check the pinned comment down below and reply to it. Then you will get your game reviewed. So this is a Plat 2 game, but the player is now Diamond 2. So congratulations to you. Also, I appreciate you being a member. If you guys didn't know, members do get priority when it comes to game reviews. So they get the reviews done first. I also will have other member stuff coming very soon. So members, make sure you're on the lookout for those community posts. As always, if you'd like to become a member, check that join button down below. Or if you do not see the join button, scroll down to the description and you will see a link that'll take you to the same page. All right, as I said before, looking at a Platinum 2 Magneto game. Again, they are Diamond now. But still the same things are going to apply, and I'll obviously look at it from the lens of like a Diamond player as well, not just from Platinum, so you can get the most benefit out of this review. So let's see what we got here. We do have a side tank. It's going to be Thor. Well, an off tank. It's going to be Thor. They have 2 tanks as well, Magneto and a Penny on push. I've been seeing a lot of Pennies on push lately. They have not been doing well. I really think you should only play Penny on push if you really enjoy playing Penny. So first things first, we noticed that this side is kind of unguarded when you start. Luckily, Thor does drop by. Maybe you thought of this, maybe you didn't. But just keep in mind if anybody goes that way. One thing about this angle as well you have to keep in mind too is that players can just go around this corner, right? So typically, I don't usually stand here. I do my best to stand here, and then my other tank stands there. I mean, it's fine. Just get a feel. You don't always have to default to this position. It is a great position, though. It's kind of one of the best, right? But you could start here. You could position where Thor is. You could position here, and even position on the truck down in that location back there. So if we go check really quick, this is just important for any time you're starting around on any map. Try to find different spots to set up from. We also have this position where we can set up from. Now, the only downside to this position is you don't have your team as much, but you do have health packs. So really you have to assess the situation of can you survive without your team. If you can, this is great because they're gonna have to look at you before they pass, right? That really only works if you have an off tank though. If you're solo tanking, don't stand over there. Your team's gonna get destroyed. But just think that in mind. Like Thor could be standing over there and just being that added distraction. Because as you see, look, Scarlet Witch is already going over there. If there was a tank here, this wouldn't happen. Now they could come above you, but Magneto has bonus damage to structures. So you can take a few shots as soon as the round starts, break this. So that way you're able to sit here, chill out. You can even break this wall too. So you're able to aim down sights because you can do damage from here and just aim down. Wow, that's a really big arrow. Aim down this way. Right? So you could have a lot accomplished just by standing on this side. You don't have to, but just keep in mind like the best ways to prevent getting rolled over by the enemy team. Because if the Scarlet Witch was smart, she would just go all the way around and then flank your team. Like these two, extra dead. And then the game would be over. But Scarlet is still focusing on tanks, which a lot of DPS players do at this rank. Even in Diamond, people still don't really know they can go for hardcore flanks. But once you get to like mid, I want to say mid-high Grandmaster, your team's gonna start getting flanked a lot more. And those are things you gotta really focus on. You see how much damage you just did? You basically almost solo killed her. If you were standing here, she wouldn't even be able to come through, and you'd be doing tons of damage to people here. Tons, because his range is pretty unique. In terms of like the explosive at the end of it, so you could just be doing tons of damage here. Right now, the reason you're able to hold is because nobody's doing a good job breaking the formation. And this, again, typically happens a lot. It doesn't matter what rank it is. Usually people get set in like a default motion, and if anyone can disturb the piece, usually that team is gonna just fold and lose. So you have to be very careful. I do like how you're holding your ground. Okay, now you're kind of backing up. I like how you're holding your ground and then you just kind of backed up and let your DPS take fight. It's fine. I just thought it was funny. Just be a little bit more cautious. You never really want to back away. You don't really want to like pace your team. This is something for dive tanks as well, because I notice it a lot. If your team is here and you're the tank here and you just decide to back up, now your team is frontlining. You never want that. And especially as tanks, a lot of dive tanks generally hop in and then just hop over their back line and then get right here, leaving their, you know, front line, essentially their back line essentially frontlining. You really have to be cautious about that, because again, especially once you get higher rank, because you are zooming, you're going to higher ranks. When you get higher, people are going to kill those DPS players like that. So you have to be very, very careful just moving away from the front line because you want to kill, because you want to reposition or anything like that. What I typically do is I like kind of do it slowly, so that way they kind of know I'm trying to leave, and in which case they'll back up. You see kind of how you slowly inched forward little by little by little? That's what you want to do going back, so that they know like, oh, okay, he's going to retreat a little bit. Of course, it's spider time. Don't waste your ultimate on Magneto ever. What you want to do is just wait for someone to use their ult, like Cloak and Dagger, Luna Snow, and really try to get good at one-shotting them. Like, the higher you get, the more important it is to do that. Or you can use it to block like Hela's ultimate, like hold it so she throws it at her, or someone tries to break it and then just toss it at her. Usually it's a one-shot. Star-Lord's another one. Generally, you want to use Magneto's ult more defensively than offensively most of the time. I know you're still getting used to him, obviously, but I'm just letting you know in the heads up, because you are Diamond 2 now and you're getting close to Grandmaster. So if you do want to play tank at high ranks, that's what you're going to have to think about. It's using his ultimate a little bit more defensively than offensively, because like right there, you'd be able to like one bang her. Now the problem, even if you did ult her right now, is you're losing this fight anyway, so it doesn't matter. You just have to bail. That generally happens. Doesn't matter the rank. People just kind of forget about the final push at the end, and then people die. Don't worry about it. It happens all the time. Unless you're as like a full team, usually it's gonna happen. People just forget, like, oh, they have all their ultimates ready to go. You're doing that thing where you're like standing out in the open. Again, a lot of tanks do this, even in high ranks. They just kind of, I think the thing is, the higher you get, the more tanks really feel like they can get heals on consistent basis. But the problem is that's not how this game works, and it's never going to be how this game works. A tank that knows how to not get hurt so much will do very, very well. Now in this particular instance, they're not focusing you, they're focusing that Thor. But what you would want to do is try to find cover. So if you're going to shoot from here, just you're right next to the door, just pop in, shoot, 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 just keep doing that zigzag over and over. That way you can get your damage off, you're not taking too much damage, and they can really just focus the people in front of you. I think one of the misconceptions when it comes to tanking is generally people think, not you specifically, but like everybody generally thinks that the tank in the front means that nobody takes damage from behind. And that's furthest from the truth. The only time that really is applicable is like Strange. And even then, that's not true, because the shield is the radius, right? So just because you're standing here in the middle, just kind of moving around and jumping around, doesn't mean they can't shoot the people behind you. So take cover. Your team will also need to learn how to take cover as well. The only time you really want to be in the front, just in the middle like that, is if you're blocking something specific, but they're not launching anything at you specific. So you're chilling. A little bit better using this as cover, but you got a little bit afraid. Okay, you're in the middle again, right? Find somewhere to hide. This is a good spot. Look, even if you are not in cover, like even if you're not here, being here still eliminates targets. Now you could be like, well, I'm giving up space. Yeah. You're not gonna survive there that long. You're gonna take damage. I'm not saying you would ask that, but I feel like somebody watching would be like, well, Papa, you don't ever want to back up. It's like, you're going to get low and you're going to have to back up anyway, which gives up undoubtedly more space. What you want to do is you want to back up. And then when you're here, you see how you're cutting off angles from Penny, anybody up there, anybody like right there, Cloak and Dagger. You're cutting off more angles. So now you only see 3. rather than where you are right now, all of them see you. Also, just as a side note, when you're playing Magneto, look for things to destroy. They are on something that I believe can be destroyed. I don't know why I'm having second doubts. I'm pretty sure you can destroy that. Often check with the vision that allows you to see what's breakable. That is breakable. I'm pretty sure it's breakable. Break it so they can't just sit up there for free. A lot of the things are breakable. Abuse that, especially when you're in higher ranks. You see how you're like holding ground, so to speak, but the thing is still moving to a spot where you could have held here? It didn't go that far, right? Luckily, your team is very good at keeping you alive, but sometimes, especially when you are dealing with people that are filled on support or something like that, they don't really understand how to heal you properly. And so you want to rely on yourself rather than people pocketing you with heals over and over and over again. I think you're doing good though. I think you're doing pretty solid for someone who doesn't really play support. I mean, not support. Play tank. It's not as bad. But there's just the things that I'm looking for are like what's abusable and what would get you or your team destroyed. And because you're not playing at a rank right now that can do that, you're not in any position to straight up get destroyed. But when you do, like if you want to whip it out when you're Grandmaster, Celestial, Eternity, their team's going to start folding. So be careful. I think you're okay. So there's two types of like tanks. Generally when they're learning it, or at least when they're getting used to it. I mean, I still see it even if they have tons of hours, but usually the period is supposed to end by the time you have like, I don't know, like 10 hours on a tank or something like that. But generally there's two types of tanks, all right? So the first tank is going to be pretty much what you are, is like you feel your job is to just hold the spot forever. As long as I can hold this spot, dude, I'm chilling. That's not true. That's not how you play tank. And I'm not saying that that's what you're thinking, but that's what your gameplay is speaking. It's like, dude, I'm not moving. Move me if you want to. I got healers. What's up? No. And then the other version of that is the more passive tank. And those are the ones that just like hold the shield as soon as they get a little low. I mean, I'm talking about less, 100 HP less than their full. So like 550. When they're super low, no, it's not super low. I just said it. When they're like 550, they back up super quickly. And it's like, no, hold your ground. We're healing you, bro. Like you always have one of the major extremes when people are learning tank or just not too used to tanking in general. Or if they don't have their pre-made. I know people that put Q solo that without their pre-made generally fall into that category as well. What you want to know when you're playing tank is it's about push and pull. All right. If you're not winning the fight, you need to pull. If you are winning or you have an advantage, you need to push. If neither is happening, which is like a stalemate, you can hold. So let's look at kind of just a brief example. We'll actually look forward to a brief example later. So we'll try to implement it, all right? Here we go, let's implement this. So we're gonna get you where you're standing and holding and doing your thing. So right now, this is a pull. You back up. You're not really in any point to be doing anything right now. Especially because we know, I'm pretty sure that the Cloak and Dagger ulted second, which means her ult is gonna last longer. She did. Wait, no, she didn't. I think she ulted literally at the same time. Oh no, wait, did she? I'm sorry. Okay, it was basically the same time. Okay, never mind. I thought she ulted. It was going so fast that I didn't hear it was at the same time. I would still kind of pull back though, because you're not really in any position to hold this. Your Thor is deep though, so it's very iffy. Thor players generally don't have an off button, so playing with one is kind of rough, but when they're in, you're in. But you can kind of see how he should have backed off and he didn't. He should have went up, he should have went somewhere. The fight was already kind of being lost because they had that advantage. Theirs is still on the ground right now, so I knew it would last longer. You're not really in a position to win this, but you see how you're like holding this for, like you don't win this. Luckily, Storm and your Cloak and Dagger save the day. You could be on comms. I'm just taking this from like a face value of like you're playing by yourself. And then you pull away when your team has the advantage. You see how you're not playing that push and pull game, right? As soon as you hear Hurricane, whatever, I forgot exactly what she says, but as soon as you hear it, you know she's about to ult. Move forward. As soon as you see Cloak and Dagger, move forward, right? Always learn the difference between when you should push, pull, or hold, okay? PPH. That's my new thing. You need to learn when to push, pull, hold. Those are the 3 things you know how to do. And then you walk forward, right? But let's see if you hold properly. Okay, well, it's over, so it doesn't matter. But we'll check the next half of this, and we'll see if that's what we do. Speaking of checking the next half, check the next half of my channel by considering becoming a member. If you, I love it. Okay, if you enjoy the content. And you really want to help support the channel, becoming a member is the best way. Click that join button down below, or scroll down to the description if you do not see that join button, and click that link. It'll do the same thing. There's going to be some new member stuff coming, so make sure again you guys check that member post, so that way you guys are up to date on what's happening. I also added a members Discord channel. Well, it was already there, but I kind of redid it. So if you're a member and you're in my Discord and you don't have a tag, make sure you join my Discord. Make sure you message me, be like, hey Poppin', I'm a member of your channel, but I don't have the Discord tag, and I'll give it to you, okay? So here we go, round 2. We're gonna be pushing this time. So attacking, in my opinion, is easier than defending. Maybe other people think differently, but I just think that because you're attacking, you're allowed to make so many more mistakes, but on defense, if you make one mistake, they can get through and break, right? So you gotta be careful. Okay, again, you see how you're like behind your DPS. She should not be here. Okay, she should not. But in situations like this, some DPS do not have an off switch. Some tanks do not have an off switch. And this is going to be your version of adapting to this stuff. So instead of like being here, and I'm not going to say you're afraid, but gameplay wise, it does look like you're kind of afraid. Maybe you're looking at something. I don't think so. Is anything up there? No. What were you doing? Let's go back. You're just breaking walls. Okay, well, I'm trying to figure out like what you were thinking in the moment. I'm gonna assume you don't even know what you were thinking. This game is older, so like you're probably like, I don't even know what I was thinking, Papa, to be honest with you. But when you're playing with people that do that type of thing, you're gonna have to adapt and be more aggressive with them. Being aggressive is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that you're gonna have to try to match that aggression. If they're super passive, you're gonna need to learn to be a little bit more passive. So whether you're playing a dive tank, a tank like Magneto, learning when to be aggressive, when to be passive, and just kind of finding that match with your team is the best thing that you can do. As you know, I play ranked solo. So even at high ranks, I do not come with these guys. It's just up to me being able to adapt to what they're doing to get my wins. So then you step forward. I feel like that one was kind of obvious, but maybe you weren't looking. As soon as you heard it, you should have put your shield up. You're not a Magneto main, so I'm not gonna harp you too much on it, but get used to kind of activating the shield instantly. You're pushing forward. You see, this is kind of what I'm talking about here, is you're not really matching the aggression. Look at what your Thor is at, right? Look what you're doing. You're going ham when the Thor's not even there yet. Again, this guy is crazy. So it's a lot easier for you as one player to match 5 other ones than 5 other players to match you. So before you look to be aggressive, before you look to do anything, just check on what they're doing. Thor, you're going ham? All right, let's do it. Because if you guys are mismatched, you're going to get low, back off. He's going to go in, get low, back off. And you guys are never in sync, and then that's going to cause you to lose. Like I said, though, when you're attacking, it's okay to make more mistakes because, you know, you're attacking. But when you're defending, if you do that, you're gonna end up in a bad situation. There's a lot more ways that you can approach the situation. As you see, it's kind of not working. What you could do is break this wall and try to go through here and sit like this. So you see what happens. When you're attacking or defending, it doesn't really matter, or playing domination, try new things. A lot of people get set in default ways, especially when you're in Diamond Plus. People like default ban the same stuff. People default play the same way. There's so much default gameplay I mean, eventually you will hit a rank where it's like, okay, we're fresh again. But I feel like there's a certain spot of like a rank where everybody defaults everything that they see from like top 500 players. And it sucks a little bit because the flavor is gone. What's crazy is anybody that's bronze to like, I think platinum, because platinum players start to do the same stuff too. But from like bronze to platinum, everybody's like fresh and doing their own things and trying new stuff. It's like, dude. So yeah, don't be afraid to just go out, think outside the box and try stuff. You're attacking. You can make mistakes. You know, your goal is to try to break the formation. Like, think about it. It's like what you're doing here doesn't do anything. Who are you doing this for? There's not really any rhyme or reason to why you're here other than I'm just throwing stuff out. Are you setting up for your team? Are you setting up for Thor? Are you trying to make a play? Are you just allowing your healers to farm up so that they can get ultimate and run through? Like, what exactly is going on right now? You know what I mean? That's what you got to think about when you're really playing. You see how you just backed up and now everybody's in front of you? Again, a no-no. If you're going to do this, this is why you don't want to stand in middle. Because when you stand in the middle like this, you don't really have a way to retreat other than back up. But you're backing into your team. When you use cover, your retreat method is cover. Your retreat method is cover. Okay? So when you are tanking, you have to make sure that you're using cover or at least have it nearby so you do not fall into this position where you walk backwards and reveal your entire team to the enemy. Because let me tell you right now, if you're playing against a super good Winter Soldier and you just did what you just did, and that Cloak and Dagger or that Scarlet Witch just got revealed, you grabbed instantly, not even a joke. Like, he could even cancel this ult right now. He could even cancel this ult right now if he knew it was coming. People in higher ranks are freaking cracked. They will see like crazy. And they will prevent stuff like this from happening. This is why you can't do this. And again, I'm only really harping on you majorly about this because this is important for the rank that you're going to be in. I'm the type of player who takes advantage of stuff like this. You see how you're still like not there with the team. It's too much inconsistency with your team. It's like everybody's just kind of playing their own game. You do not need to be on comms to play the same game. This is why ults are just super cool in this game, because ultimates are literally what tells you to play with your team, right? What happens when you hear armed and dangerous? This dude's about to go nuts. Let's play together. What happens when you hear us against the world? About to go nuts. Let's, right? Like, these ults literally tell the entire team, enemy 2, what's about to take place. If you can learn to play with that, even press tab and you can see the ultimates, you'd be go. You'd be straight up ready. And that's not something a lot of players do in general, is they don't really think about what their team has, what ults they might have and whatnot. Also, you see that Cloak and Dagger ulted right after yours. You could have just ulted her ult and killed her and your team probably would have won that fight. Even here, you could have ulted to block all the bullets so that she doesn't die. Your tank gameplay is just kind of like, it's too solo oriented. You know what I mean? And that's not to say you suck. I'm not saying that, so don't take that the wrong way. Again, I'm really only harping you for the rank that you're going to be in. I want you to succeed, but I gotta let you know like what's going to get you clapped up if you decide to alternate to tank in higher ranks. This is good. She's ulting. I don't really like this positioning because you literally allowed her to once again be in the front. I also don't like how she just ulted when 2 of your DPS are dead. Doesn't really make much sense, but that still happens even in high ranks. People just get anxious. Now you're way in the back again. If you wanted to salvage what she just did, you'd come this way, right? Get experimental. You have to get experimental. Right here, when she said us against the world, you dip out this way. This fight is lost, but a great way to salvage this is to walk over here because they're going to be focused on you just entering a random uncut location. Like, bro, Magneto's there. And they either try to follow you or they would just leave you alone. and you're waiting for your team to respawn, reposition, get somewhere, get a health pack. There's a health pack there. There's a health pack there. There's also another health pack there. There's 2 health packs lined up here. One there and then one right there. Learn where health packs are. And then once your team comes back and you're probably right here, just start popping them. Bow, 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 bow. They're going to have to look at you. You have 2 tanks. Abuse that. This is something that you're going to have to learn to do just as a general player. Is you are going to have to learn how to salvage your team's mistakes, because they will make a lot of them, unfortunately. That's just the nature of the game. That was better. I like how you just kind of rotated and just did some new stuff. You see how long it took you to do something new? Just do it earlier and you can try, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'd rather you try 10 different things in a span of 4 minutes than try one thing in the span of 4 minutes. We get to overtime here. Okay, looks like your team just kind of cleaned this up for you. Let's skip forward. Okay. All right, we're going back. Remember, push, pull, hold, PPH. So you pushed, you backed up. You should go forward again. You kind of pushed without no real advantage. Now you should be pushing, but I see how you're not in sync with someone when you get low. Now she's going forward and now you have to go forward, but by the time you go forward, they're going to be low, and then you guys are going to be in really weird like positions. I guess they just ran away. That should not have happened. I don't know what I just watched. That shouldn't have happened how it unfolded. They should have like took that advantage after, or taken that advantage after. Okay, you guys end up winning here. That last fight was wonky. I don't know what happened, but I don't really care about what they did. It's all about you. That's hilarious. Okay, so main thing to really think about here is going to be trying different things, okay? But really just being more in sync with your team. Really understanding like, what is my main goal? What's their main goal? How can I achieve success with us together? Not just you playing a solo gameplay, and really focus on PPH, push, pull, hold. You know, when nothing's happening, hold. When you have an advantage, push. When you have a disadvantage, you know, pull back, retreat. So those are the things that you need to learn in order to be a successful tank. However, gameplay wise, it seems like you understand like the basics, but obviously trying to fill in Diamond 2, you're gonna need to get above basics. That's just not gonna work. So my major thing for your rank right now, Diamond 2, would just be try to be more sync with your other tank. If you're solo tanking, try to be more in sync with people, with their ultimates and just the aggression of the enemy team. So I hope this helps you. As I said, I wanted to see it more at a higher rank. Again, thank you for being a member. I do appreciate it. For anyone else who would like to be a member to help support the channel, click that join button down below, or scroll in the description and see that link. As I said, remember, you guys that are members, pay attention to member posts. I will be posting more this week to check out what you guys are thinking and your thoughts on stuff, okay? So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you learned a lot. And until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? Popping often. Will often.